I've got two goals, they're very simple. Win a race and become the independent drivers' champion.
Mikey Doble, who is a quiet, unassuming guy out of the car, but a heck of a driver behind the wheel.
Certainly hoping that we'll get him his race win this year.
And Mikey's still perhaps one of the great underrated talents in the British Touring Car Championship.
But I'm pretty confident that we're going to have the tools in our armoury to take the fight to them and beat them.
I want to beat Mikey, but I want to beat everyone.
Rather less impressive into the Mikey Doble's independent hope has taken knock.
Those soft tyres, but Mikey Doble coming through on.
So, coming into Snetterton, obviously, for the pace we've had, we haven't quite backed that up with race results because of some of the problems we've had and the contacts at Brands. So, we're coming into Snetterton carrying the full boost allocation. I personally feel like we're a top six car, and you give a top six car the full boost, and all of a sudden qualifying becomes a little bit easier. I'm not going to say easy, but just a little bit easier than perhaps those that are running some boost penalties from their championship position.
I've got all the confidence that we can be really up there with everyone, especially after last year. Like, after the season that we had with Mikey, you know, Alton Park being one of those ones that really stood out last year, and then ever since then it's just been going from strength to strength, and, you know, finally ticking off that box of a race win, and then hopefully more of those race wins as well. If not, just the consistency. You know, consistency is key.
I've always enjoyed racing at Snetterton. I think it's one of the most challenging circuits in the country, in fact. I mean, it's very technical. It's got a mixture of fast and slow corners. It's a great circuit to go to if you want to better yourself as a driver or develop a car, because it's got a bit of everything, as I said. You've got to be, it's a circuit where I believe the driver can really make a difference and kind of shine a little bit more so than maybe some of the other circuits we go to. So I've won races there before in previous categories. You mentioned my family. We've won races there this year as a family. My middle brother racing in the BMW Championship. He got a couple of wins there earlier in the year. My youngest brother, who's starting his racing career this year in Fiesta Junior, he took his first race win there, had his first race ever in a car there. So there's a lot of good memories for us this year from Snetterton, but obviously none bigger perhaps than what was to come with myself there, when the weekend was said and done.
So, our third qualifying session of the season. It's about to get underway. They've had the two free practice periods already, the first of which started damp and dried out, so the teams didn't really learn a great deal in that. The second one was dry, it was quicker, and it's from that we therefore determine the two groups going into this qualifying session.
So the day had gone very well. Running up to qualifying, and again I was really satisfied with our pace, and we were just fast. Like, I didn't feel like I really had to try particularly hard, and that's a really good place for a driver when the car almost feels like it's driving you round.
Yeah, Mikey Doble, another one that was very quick in free practice to the drier session, and with that M Sport engine in that Vauxhall, he was a real potential for a front of the grid qualifying position.
Hitting your marks, doing everything that you should do as a driver, not making mistakes, and the car is just naturally fast. And across the three-part qualifying format, I don't think I was ever out the top 5. So I got comfortably through Q1, even more comfortably through Q2. So I was in the shootout again. So in my head, that's a big tick, qualifying success.
Doble, a great effort, only 3/10 off England's time.
Line now goes down Rowbottom. He will go third. So Camish, Ingram, Rowbottom. 2 minutes and change on the clock. Mikey Doble goes by. He goes 4th.
And this time I managed to put the car 4th on the grid. So making progress on the previous qualifyings of the season, starting on the 2nd row, a mega Saturday.
There is Mikey Doble then, as you say, overachieving in the Powermax Racing Vauxhall Astra.
I mean, Mikey's already got pole, so we know we can do that. But just getting that race win, it's almost just getting that monkey off the back, you know, because I don't understand from a driver's perspective, but I can imagine, like, you're always thinking of, you know, that first race win. And, you know, you look at when Lando got his first race win, you know, what's come from that, in everything after that, just like, you're more relaxed, you're not stressing as much to be like, yeah, I need that race win. So I'd have to say getting that race win would be, yes, that'd be really good.
I knew the time would come. I knew it'd be. I know he's capable of winning, and probably in the right car winning the title.
Never really shown any nerves. He's quite chilled, quite focused, so he doesn't seem to be fazed by very much. He's always sort of got a lot of attention on what he needs to do, and yeah, you wouldn't know any different.
I've got 2 goals, they're very simple. Win a race and become the independent drivers' champion. If I don't achieve both of those things, then I won't consider it a successful year. It's as simple as that.
Mikey Doble 4th on the hard tyre. That's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I'm surprised, you know, in effect, Mikey Doble's giving up that 4th place because there'll be softer run cars behind that'll be quicker. I'm surprised he's giving up a good points finish in the first race.
I sort of analysed who was around us, and just looking at the front of the grid and seeing that it was going to be dry all day, I elected to make a decision that some saw as going against the grain a little bit, and choosing the hard tyre for race 1, which is a bold strategy because you're kind of in essence throwing away a really good qualifying performance. But I personally felt, for me, to get our best results across the 3 races, that to get the hard tyre out of the way in race 1 was going to benefit us more later in the day.
Ready, he's go. Good start by Camish. Good start by Rowbottom as well. Not a great start by Josh Kirk in comparison.
I was able to put in a really strong performance in race 1, not getting too caught up with soft runners.
Now here's De Leon coming up to have a go at Mikey Doble, soft tyre against hard tyre.
And as long as I finished ahead of everyone that was running the hard, I was then going to be in pole position figuratively for later on in the day when other people would have to run the hard that ran the soft.
No, Mikey Doble on the harder tyre, starting to drop back in the pack. The softer tyre is the faster, but it doesn't last as long. So if you are on the soft, it's quick, but you've got to manage it.
I mean, I think it was a bold strategy. Getting the hard out the way in race 1 and still getting a good result is always a nice feeling, because now you know you've got 2 races this afternoon, you know you've got the pace in the car to run the softs, so it's full out attack now. We know that cars in front of me are going to have less boost, worse tyre. So now I think we've got a genuine chance of a podium in one of the next 2 races, maybe both. The race 2, I managed to put the kind of superstition to bed that race 2s were going to be against us all year.
Gets up the inside of Dan Camish, who is dropping like a stone, having been shuffled offline. That kind of opens the floodgates. Everybody comes pouring past him, Stevie, but also, look, Mikey Doble's very, very rapid. Vauxhall Astra tries to follow the Ford through. There's Josh Cook on his toes as well. He finds a gap on the inside.
And the trend very, very nearly continued because I had a bit of a coming together with, I think it was Sam Osborne, at the end of the Bentley Straight, which sent me spinning through the grass.
Mikey Doble getting all caught up, coming down to the S's, and...
But I just kept my foot in and I ended up back on the track somehow in the position I was, and I managed to continue. So that was the most dangerous race of the day because I'm starting a little bit further in the pack. Again, I'm going to be subject to some skirmishes and some people just making aggressive moves, trying to obviously fight their way towards the front for a reverse grid win. And also you've got the hard tyre runners at the front that are bottlenecking the pack up and coming backwards, which naturally causes a lot of carnage in the middle of the field. So I managed to survive that race and actually come out with a P6 finish. I knew that if I could just stay strong, the car was pretty beat up and, I just needed to stay there just to try and get in that reverse grid draw. Now we're pole for race 3.
Of course, Mikey Doble sitting on pole position. He's never had a race win. He came close, remember, at Alton Park last year. He desperately wants a race win, and this could be it. Round 9 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship at Snetterton. He's go. Good start by Mikey Doble.
My strategy really couldn't have played out any better and rewarded me any more for taking that bold decision and running the hard in race 1. So from there on, it was all about maximising the start, trying to get a gap on lap 1 because I knew the soft runners would still get through the hard guys and then they would have me in their sights to try and hunt me down.
Big off Stephen Jelly into the barriers.
He had the pace, he had the pole position, and see the safety car thing came out, brought all the others back into play, and then Ash got into second. And we were quite confident he was going to hold him off, to be honest, But you never know what's going to happen with Ash Sutton coming up behind you,
To go racing once more then. Mikey Doble ready to accelerate up towards the timing line. So for round 9 of the British Touring Car Championship, we are about to go green once more. Mikey Doble now accelerates. Dan Lloyd loses a length on him.
You just know that if you see Ash Sutton in your mirrors that it's not going to be long before he's knocking on your door. So I think there was maybe 4 cars between us at that point during the safety car.
Round riches, but it's all going on behind Mikey Doble, who is trying to build that lead once more. And Lloyd fights back and retakes the place.
Yeah, just what Mikey Doble wants, isn't it? He's sort of scrapping behind him.
We'd been there almost this time last year when he was at Alton Park. We thought we were going to have the same moment where, like Jake Hill overtook him on the last lap, almost last corner. We thought, oh no, it's going to happen again.
Now he's into second position. Sutton's got 7 laps of boost remaining. He's got more than the leader significantly. So now the gap was 2.2 seconds at the start of the lap. Doble to Sutton. Mikey Doble is on borrowed time.
And then the race really started for me when we got to 4 laps to go, because at that point I'd held off using my boost and Ash Sutton had got to within a 10th of me going across the line. And at that point I had equal laps of boost with Ash Sutton and it was a 4-lap dash. And I think that everyone had probably written off my chances of winning that race because he was on a mission, he was coming through the pack, he was passing cars, he wasn't stopping anyone.
Sutton is on for a win here.
Yeah, he is. He was some 0.6 of a second quicker.
With Ash catching him on the last few laps, you know, none of us really knew if he would be able to do it or not, but we had faith.
I just kind of took it one lap at a time, you know, like I knew where my car was quick, I knew where he was quicker, and I made sure that I covered him off in the areas where I was vulnerable.
Obviously the amount of pressure he was under, not just from anybody kind of who happened to end up behind him, but you know, Ash Sutton, 4 times Btcc champion, probably will go down in history of one of the greatest Btcc drivers ever. And he did put Mikey under a lot of pressure, and Mikey defended so well.
And 10th in the space of a lap, and now Mikey Doble with 4 laps to go has kept 4 laps of boost. Sutton's got 4 laps of boost. They've got parity there, but look how much quicker Sutton is. He is all over Mikey Doble like a rash.
Yeah, that last lap was Sutton's extra lap of boost.
Ash basically decided to concede and allow him to have that position because he even managed to force a mistake out of him.
Defends nicely, coming up to Wilson.
Oh,
Sutton goes
up.
deep into the corner. That's going to squander 1, 2, 3 lengths maybe.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge relief for Mikey Doble.
He made a small mistake and just locked up, went wide. So I saw that in the mirror and I thought, right, at least the pressure's off now for half a lap or so. I was expecting him to perhaps catch me back up a little bit quicker, but at that point I think he'd just taken too much life out of his car catching me up, that it meant I just had to hit my marks and just not bottle it on the last couple of laps and bring it home for victory.
Final lap.
For the last time into riches, Mikey Doble leads Ash Sutton the margin 7/10 of a second. Right, we are now coming out of turn 3 down to 4 on the last lap. Mikey Doble leads, but Sutton's closing.
Yeah, I think he's home and dry. I really do. Barring the lock-up, which he's not going to do.
And Mikey Doble, who is a quiet, unassuming guy out of the car, but a heck of a driver behind the wheel, he's going to score a first British Touring Car Championship win. Not only will the Motor Parts Direct with Power Max Racing team cheer him to the echo, I think the rest of the pit lane will, because this is going to be a first victory in the British Touring Car Championship. Mikey Doble wins for the first time in the Btcc.
Mikey Doble, you're a bloody race winner. Who said the Astra didn't have any more life in it, eh?
I was so focused in those closing stages about holding Ash off, and I didn't really feel like I was going to win for sure until I exited the final corner on the last lap. I think my celebration lasted probably from the start-finish line till the first corner, and then I was kind of like, yeah, this is nice, you know, waving to the crowd and as I was coming round, and then I had to try and pick myself up again for the wall of emotion from the team and my family, and obviously, you know, the emotion of everyone else.
And even for me, watching the podium and watching Ash look at Mikey celebrating his first win, the kind of respect that Ash had in his eyes for Mikey, and seeing, remembering what that feeling's like to kind of have your first, it was really nice to see that kind of, I suppose, what's the right word, respect between Ash and Mikey really arriving in the Btcc.
Really emotional. No, it's something that he really, really wanted. So I think because we were all there as a family as well.
You know, the emotion of just winning a British Touring Car race. That's all, you know, just to be there is massive for us, but to go out and win one, you know, 5 years ago, you'd never have dreamt it, but you know, we're sitting there and that happened, and that hour from the second win across the line to even coming in, Park Ferme, getting out the car, the interviews, the podium, you know, that was just magic time. Yeah. It makes everything you put into it worthwhile.
You know, we've got quite a few meetings that clash this year, like for our own racing. So to have one where we're all there together at that point was pretty amazing.
Thought I'd bring this little friend along with me. Oh, I mean, everyone was in floods of tears. I mean, I don't really cry, but everyone else certainly made up for it. And, you know, just to be able to deliver a moment like that to everyone, you know, people saying it's, you know, one of the best things they've ever seen, you know, it's just really special to be able to, you know, bring them that joy. We're all aware of the challenges that Thruxton presents.
After the high of Snetterton hits the low of retirement at Thruxton.
Treated rather robustly on track and had, you know, ended up kind of shuffling back down the order.